Hola, hola, hola. Bienvenidos a mi canal de Twitch. Bueno, hoy vamos a probar el Bright Side mi madre, Riddles and Puzzles, gracias a Lurkit, una vez más. Opciones, ¿está en español? No, no está en español. Entonces, vamos a ver.
Mr. Morrison was the owner of a small company. Only 4 people worked there. One day, he came to the office and didn't find his favorite slippers. He always put them on while working. The man searched everywhere and finally spotted them on the roof of the building. Mr. Morrison was furious. He entered the office and started to question his employees. Daniel said, "I don't even know where you keep your slippers." Andrew said, "I'm terrified of heights. I have never climbed up there." Sandra said, "I'm wearing high heels today. I can hardly walk in them." Emily said, "I respect you too much to do it to you." One of the employees is lying. Who is it?
¡Hostia!
It's Andrew. He said he was afraid of heights. But on his table, there's a photo in which he's skydiving with a parachute. Uh-oh.
Yo, pero es así.
Proposed to her and presented a beautiful diamond ring. The girl was afraid of losing it. That's why she kept it in a box on her vanity table. Once, after a long and difficult working day, the girl came home and went straight to bed. When she woke up, the ring was gone. Melissa called the police. They asked 3 suspects, Melissa's roommate, her best friend, and her neighbor, what they had been doing the night before. Helen, Melissa's roommate for the last 3 years, said Melissa had indeed looked very tired. She took the tea Helen made for her and went to her room at 10 p.m. Helen went to bed shortly after. Eric, Melissa's best friend, said he had come to visit Melissa at about 11:30 p.m. The girl was already sleeping, but he saw a jewelry box lying open on the table. It was empty. Eric was surprised and left immediately after that. Brenda, the neighbor, said she wanted to borrow a book from Melissa, but when she called her, the girl didn't answer. So Brenda decided not to bother her so late at night. The police soon realized one of these people was lying. Who was it?
Yo creo que es la tía. Parece una santa, pero... ¡No! ¡Que fue la vieja!
He was only asked what he had been doing the evening before.
Ah.
He mentioned the jewelry box. He must have known the ring was missing because...
¿En serio? ¿Le mangó el anillo?
A group of friends went camping. They found a beautiful place in the forest near the river. They were planning to spend a week there. But on the 3rd day, Chris disappeared. The rest of the group gathered near a campfire to figure out where he could be. Paul said, "We didn't have enough firewood. I went deeper into the forest to get some. When I came back, Chris was already gone." Ashley said, "I was near the river washing my t-shirt. I stained it with ketchup during lunch." Nancy said, "I felt unwell, so I decided to take a nap. I was sleeping when an owl woke me up." One of the young people is lying. Do you know who it is?
Esta.
It's Nancy.
Ahí.
Sleep during the day. It means an owl couldn't have woken the girl.
Un poco de día no duerme.
Someone started a gas leak in Mark's
O sea, sí duerme.
Luckily, the man noticed it. He called the police. After searching the place, they found a watch. Mark claimed it wasn't his. The detective decided to set up an ambush. The watch looked expensive. Surely the criminal would return to get it back. At around midnight, they heard the key turn in the door lock. In a while, a man came in. He was holding a lit candle in his hands. At first, the detective wanted to arrest the man, but after a while, he realized it wasn't the person they had been waiting for. How did he figure it out?
Find and choose the answer. ¿Cómo?
Whatever the man was doing in Mark's apartment, he wasn't the one responsible for the gas leak. That criminal wouldn't have entered the apartment holding a burning candle. They would be sure the place was still full of gas. The police found out one particular gang was going to rob a bank. An undercover agent was sent to the restaurant where the criminals always gathered in the evening. His task was to attach a tiny GPS tracker to one of the gang members. Then the police would know about their location and would be able to prevent the robbery. The leader of the gang was the mastermind of the group. All other members were just muscle. The undercover officer had to be very attentive around the leader. The man could easily spot the device. but no other gang member would notice it. Where should the agent place the tracker?
Finally choose the answer. Coño, pero en la bebida.
On the gang leader's backpack. He's the only person who can spot the device, but not.
Casi llevando una mochila ahí, ¿verdad?
Police got a call from the house of a wealthy man. He didn't come home after going for a jog. When several police officers arrived, they questioned all the people in the house. They were the maid, the millionaire's wife, and his driver. The maid said, "When Mr. Jones went for a jog, he asked me to prepare his breakfast. I immediately got down to work, but it's been 3 hours and he hasn't returned yet." The wife was worried too. "I saw him in the morning, but he was in a hurry. We just greeted each other and I went to work." The driver told the police he had been waiting for his boss in the car, scrolling through his social media. Who knows something about the millionaire's disappearance?
Esta tiene cara de... ¿Tú?
The maid is lying. If she had cut the apples for breakfast 3 hours ago, they would have already turned brown by now. Shirley got a new job as a sales assistant. She was extremely happy to receive her first salary. She went out for a walk in the park and decided to treat herself to some ice cream. She pulled out cash, but a powerful gust of wind has blown the money out of her hands. The girl managed to pick it up, but then she realized one $10 bill was missing. Shirley looked around. One of these people must have taken the bill. Can you figure out who it was?
¿Quién tiene el dinero? El chiquillo de toda la vida. O el chiquillo, hombre. Se mangó el boli, el billete como...
Detective Larson was walking along the street. Suddenly he saw a man grab
He stole my bag
and run away. The detective immediately rushed after the criminal, but the man disappeared behind the kitchen door of a small restaurant. When Detective Larson entered, he saw 3 cooks preparing food. Which cook is fake?
Hostia, este, ¿no? No, mentira. No sé, el de la derecha.
It's the man holding the salad bowl. He's the only one not wearing gloves. People began to disappear in a large town. 1 month after it started, the police came across an abandoned house. In its basement, they found 2 men. Each of them claimed that he had been locked up there.
Help,
and
help!
that the other man was the one to keep him in the basement. But it was clear that only one of them was telling the truth. Look at these men attentively and say who's the liar.
Este que está tan tranquilo.
It's the man who's smiling. If he had spent 4 weeks locked up, he would have a beard and mustache by now. But he's clean shaven. Rachel Brown, the owner of a large and successful company, has disappeared right from her office. The police suspect that some of her subordinates might know where the woman is. They question 3 people. Ruth, the HR manager, is the first to enter. "We were going to fire an employee that day. I came to get Miss Brown's signature." Adam, the accountant, says, "I indeed came to her office. She had to approve the company's budget for the next year." And the secretary comes in last. "I saw Miss Brown today, but only for a minute or so. I asked her to sign my leave request." The police officers immediately realize who is lying. Can you figure it out too?
Hostia. Ay, esa era mi segunda opción.
The signature on her documents is different from the others. Plus, she is the person Ruth was going to fire that day. Martin bought a car in September, and now, just a month later, it's stolen. The police have 4 suspects, and all of them are Martin's friends. The crime happened at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. At that time, Alan was playing badminton in the park. Natalie was driving home from work. Roy was walking with his dog, and Rose was doing some grocery shopping. Who took Martin's car?
¿Quién le mangó el cochete? Ay.
It was Alan. At 10 p.m. in October, it's too dark to play badminton.
Vale, que hay varios.
So, you're on a desert island and you're starving. You find a bush filled with berries. You eat a few, but start to feel sick. A local, "Hey, I thought this was uninhabited." They tell you that eating watermelons and grapes will get rid of the poison, but apples and carrots will make things worse. In front of you, there are tomatoes, cabbages, oranges. Which one do you eat?
Lechugas mismo.
Tomatoes. Like watermelons
Tomato.
and grapes, they also grow on vines, unlike the rest. You're lost in the desert with just one bottle of water, but you don't know where the nearest water source is. What do? Cover yourself with your backpack to avoid sweating? Walk as quickly as you can to find water? Find shade and rest?
No sé.
The best option is the last one. When it gets dark, you can walk further and find help. While sightseeing in a town, a volcano erupts nearby. There's no lava coming out, just thick black smoke. You see 3 potential routes to safety. Which one do you take? A tall lighthouse is a few feet away, a basement, a car in front of you.
Hombre, lo más lógico es el faro, ¿no? Un sitio alto. ¿No?
The basement and close the door behind you. Lava smoke travels fast, and it can reach the tallest point of the lighthouse.
Mira.
It's 3 p.m., and while walking in the middle of a desert, you come across a tall tower with a crazy scientist living there. He tells you that if you want to make it out alive, you must calculate the height of his tower. What do you use? Fallen tree branches, your shadow, your watch.
La altura de la torre. Hombre, la altura. No, es la sombra. Soy idiota.
Since you know how tall you are, you can calculate how many times your shadow fits into the
Es
tower
verdad.
shadow. You're at a water park, and you've been taken captive by a supervillain. He takes you to the highest point of the park and shows you 3 slides. An orange one, a green one, and a yellow one. One leads to a pool filled with acid, one to a tropical paradise, and the other to a volcano filled with lava. The supervillain tells you, in a parallel world, the purple slide leads to freedom. Which one do you choose?
¿Están en dónde?
The yellow slide. Yellow is the opposite of purple.
Encontrar de violeta.
You're on a trip into the wild. A huge angry elephant has spotted you, and it's running towards you. What do? Run down a steep slope leading to a river. Climb up a tall tree right next to you. Run straight towards some other animals, hoping it'll lose sight of you.
Trepar un árbol. ¿No? ¿Qué dice?
Run down the steep slope. Elephants avoid areas with high elevation to stop themselves being injured.
Los elefantes tienen
During a
miedo a las
camping
alturas.
trip, you realize you have no water, but you're very thirsty. There are 3 ways to get water. Which one is the least dangerous?
Los cactus tienen agua.
Harvest some from a cactus. Drink the water from a stagnant lake. Take some water from a flowing river.
Cactus. ¿Qué
Cactus
dice?
water isn't the safest, and a stagnant lake is filled with bacteria and parasites. The least dangerous option is the flowing river.
Imagínate.
You've been stuck in the wild for days, and you have no idea which way leads to civilization. Which sign do you follow? A plane passing overhead, a flowing river, a group of animals.
¿Sigue el avión?
Your best bet is the river. Since the beginning of time, people have built villages along riverbanks.
Pues vale, tontería.
A mysterious biologist invites you to his home for dinner. He takes you down to the basement and puts 3 plates of weird items on the table. One has wild white mushrooms with white gills.
Zeta.
The second is filled with castor beans. The third has some fish brains. Which one is safe to eat?
Por lo del medio. Vete a la mierda, hombre.
Springs is the only dish that isn't poisonous. But the dinner
No
is
sé ni qué es
over
eso.
yet. You're taken into a room with 3 large tanks filled with salt water. You must stay in one of them for 5 minutes. The biologist promises to set you free if you make it out alive. The first contains 6 great white sharks.
No,
The
gracias.
second has 70 piranhas. The last one is filled with dangerous box jellyfish.
Prefiero
Which
la
could you
medusa.
survive in?
¿Cuál sobrevive? Pues la medusa.
In the second
¿Qué me
tank,
estás contando? Esos son pirañas.
freshwater fish. They can't survive in salt water. You're leading an expedition to the North Pole. As you're sailing there, a huge chunk of ice falls into the water, causing a large wave to come your way. What do you tell your crew to do? Stop the ship and stay until the wave passes?
No.
Start moving in the opposite direction. Keep going and lean into the wave as it hits.
La del medio. Hay que seguir la corriente, o sea, para trepar la ola.
Leaning into the wave is the only way
Las
to
películas de
get to the
tsunamis y
end.
esas cosas, hombre.
Anything else will cause your ship to capsize. You're stuck in a room that's slowly filling up with water. Help is 6 minutes away. The water will reach the ceiling in just 2 minutes. But on the floor, there's a tree branch, a straw, a bucket. Which one will buy you some time?
El cubo.
The
El
bucket.
cubo, porque te lo metes y se queda algo de aire.
And it'll create an air bubble that will allow you to breathe for a while. While out camping, you come across an angry brown bear that's coming closer and closer to you. What should you do? Start
Correr,
running
no.
as fast as you can. Fall to the ground and pretend you're unconscious. Stay still and don't move.
Don't move. Correr está claro que no.
Fall to the ground. That way the bear
Tirarte
won't
al
see you
suelo, en
as a
serio.
threat. Oliver is trapped in the freezing north. David is lost in the desert without any clothes. Who will collapse first?
Prefiero el calor.
David. The cold weather makes Oliver shiver. His muscles tighten and loosen very fast to keep him warm. But David quickly becomes dehydrated in the sun. While walking through a dense jungle, you get bitten on the leg by a venomous snake.
Vale, te muero una
How can you
serpiente.
survive?
¿Qué es lo que? ¿Cómo
By
sobrevive?
drawing the venom out with your mouth. Washing the wound
No.
with water and a cloth. By tying your leg with a piece of your shirt.
Ah, no, la primera.
Tying your leg will prevent the venom from reaching the rest of your body. As you're driving down the road, you come across a fallen tree blocking your way.
Vale.
You get out of the car and try to move it, but then you see a huge tornado.
Bueno, viene un
coming
tornado.
towards you. Boy, it's not your day. How
No es
will
tu
you
día.
survive? Get back in your car and drive fast in the opposite direction. Climb up the sturdiest tree. Find a ditch on the ground and stay there until the tornado passes.
Hombre, lo más lógico es irte corriendo, pero esta opción.
The last one. If the tornado passes over you, it won't sweep you up. You walk into a room, and right when you close the door, it catches fire.
Vaya por
There's
allá.
no way out, but firefighters are on their way. How will you buy yourself some time until help arrives? By lying flat on the floor, by climbing onto a chair to avoid the flames, by standing in the corner of the room.
En las esquinas.
It's the first option. Smoke travels upwards toward the ceiling.
Te va a quemar
lying
igual.
flat on the floor will help you to breathe. You're trapped in a maze inside an abandoned castle. You can pick only one door to stay alive. The first one leads to a room filled with sharp blades and knives.
Vale.
The second has dozens of venomous snakes and
No.
spiders. Behind the third door, there's an electrified moat. Which one do you pick?
Pues te diría que este.
The
El
last
eléctrico.
door.
En serio,
Since
te
this
mueres
is an
ahí.
abandoned castle, you can flip the light switch to check if it has electricity, and then go through there. A creepy professor has taken you to his secret island. He wants to see how smart you are. He presents you with, guess what? 3 doors, but only one is safe. The first one leads to 5 of the most dangerous people on Earth. The second leads to a room with a powerful laser and mirrors on the wall. The third leads to a lab filled with radioactive waste. Which is the least dangerous option?
La menos peligrosa es esta. La otra te mueres porque te da radiación, la otra te meten 4 tiros y esta pues un láser.
The first door.
Los
It'll
cojones.
be easier to deceive the people there into letting you walk free.
Vete a la mierda, hombre.
You're lost in an ancient cave system, and you come across 3 tunnels. You must swim through them to the exit. The first is filled with lava. The second has stagnant water containing bacteria and parasites. The third contains cornstarch mixed with water. Which one is the least dangerous to go through?
La derecha no sé lo que era.
Stagnant water is your best option. Lava will burn you, and cornstarch water will swallow you in just a few minutes. Good luck!
Who is not smart?
Charlotte and Elizabeth are doing some homework. Charlotte is going to iron some clothes, and Elizabeth is about to cook. Who's not being smart?
¿Qué es smart? No inteligente. Esta, ¿no?
Elizabeth. Charlotte's safe because the iron is turned off. Lucas and Liam are going on a field trip with their kids. Lucas is distracted while his daughter is climbing a tree. Liam is talking to another parent while his son is petting a dog. Who is wrong?
Este. ¿Se va a caer?
Lucas. The branch his daughter is climbing is cracking, and she is about to fall. Ava and Olivia are finally leaving home for their first night out after maternity leave. Ava decides to walk, and Olivia is waiting for a taxi. Who is not ready?
Esta.
Olivia. She forgot to finish her makeup. Michael and Logan are bloggers who take selfies in dangerous places. This time, Michael is taking a selfie while surfing on a huge wave, and Logan is taking one standing on the edge of a bridge. Who is not smart? Michael. In Logan's case, at least
que era cuadrado, perdón.
call emergency services if something goes wrong. Michael is alone. It's early morning. Ian and Nolan are driving their kids to school. Who is not smart?
Este porque está conduciendo con los puños.
Nolan. His child is not in the car. Jackson and Emma are volunteering at an animal shelter. Jackson is feeding the cats, and Emma is washing the dogs. Who is wrong?
¿Quién está? Ah, porque le está dando comida de perro.
Jackson. He gave the cats dog food by mistake. Scarlett and Ellie are going to bed. Scarlett kept her door open so her cat could enter during the night, while Ellie prefers to close her door. Who is not smart? Scarlett. You should always close your bedroom door at night. In case of fire, it'll stop the flames for a while and give you more time. Riley and Isabella are taking their kids to kindergarten. Riley is riding a bike with her daughter, and Isabella and her son are going by car. Who is wrong?
¿Quién no es? Esta.
Isabella. Her child isn't wearing a seatbelt.
No lleva cinto.
Lily and Oliver have job interviews at 4 o'clock. Lily is ironing her best suit, and Oliver is waiting in the hallway wearing jeans. Who's not getting the job today?
Luis no trabajó hoy.
Lily. She must have forgotten the time. The interview is in 5 minutes, and she's still at home.
Mm.
Sophia and Aiden are working in the garden. Sophia is watering the flowers while her cat is walking around. Aiden is mowing the lawn while his child is playing nearby. Who's not smart?
¿Quién no es inteligente? Hostia, pues este.
Aiden. It's dangerous to use the lawnmower when children are close by. John and Brandon are making breakfast for their kids. John is making sandwiches, and Brandon is making eggs with bacon.
Pero está apagado.
Who is wrong?
Está apagado. No puede estar cocinando nada porque está apagado la cocina.
Brandon. He forgot to turn on the stove. Thomas and Abigail are going on a date. Thomas arrived a half an hour early and decided to buy some flowers. Abigail just returned from London and is driving to meet him. Who is wrong?
Parece la chica.
Abigail. She's driving on the left side of the road.
Y encima al lado izquierdo.
Ryan and Kaylee are having fun outside during their Christmas break. Ryan is learning how to skate on the lake, and Kaylee is skiing in the forest. Who is not smart?
Este porque tiene tacones.
Ryan. The ice on the lake is cracking, and there's no one around to help him.
Ok, ya está roto.
Asher and Haley are enjoying their vacations. Asher is chilling at the beach, and Haley is climbing the highest mountain around. Who is not behaving wisely?
Who is not behind wish? Hostia, tú estás quemado.
Asher. Although Haley's activity is quite risky, she seems to be okay. But Asher fell asleep at the beach and is going to get a sunburn. Chloe and Avery are having some quality time on Friday. Chloe is reading a book, and Avery is watching a documentary. Who is missing something?
Se te está quemando el horno, hombre.
Avery. She forgot to turn off the oven, and something's burning. Hannah and Maya are meeting their friends today. Hannah arrived by bike and is waiting for her friend by the house. Maya arrived by car, opened the doors, and is waiting for her friend to come down. Who is not smart?
Esta.
Maya. It's not safe to stay in the car with unlocked doors.
Oye, la señal de emergencia, hombre.
And she wouldn't be able to do anything from the front seat. Mason and Jacob are going on a trip to the desert, where they'll spend a whole day. Who is not adequately prepared?
No está adecuadamente preparado. Hombre. Ni aquí a sacar fotos. ¿Cómo?
The sun is powerful, and he's
Ah, hostia, el gorro.
Emily and Madison are spending their time outdoors, but it's not their lucky day. Emily stumbled and fell in some mud. Madison was swinging but fell. Now they both are getting up. Who made a mistake?
Chua. No sé qué decir esto.
Madison. The swing is still moving, and it may hit her head if she gets up. Aubrey and James are cleaning the house. Aubrey is listening to music while vacuuming the living room, and James is washing the windows. Who is not being smart?
Esta, porque no... Bueno, entonces va a caer también. La música.
The vacuum cleaner isn't.
Ah, no te he enchufado.
Mia and Ethan are going on summer vacation. Mia is going to Greece, and Ethan is visiting his brother in Sydney. Who is not smart?
Tiene ni puta idea.
Ethan. He's packed shorts and swimwear, but he won't need them because it's winter in Australia. Carter and Layla are in a hurry for work. Carter is walking while talking on his phone, and Layla is running while texting. Who's going to be late?
Esta, ¿dónde va?
Layla.
Te va a atropellar.
She's looking at her phone and doesn't see the pit
Te va a caer.
to walk into. Leah and Aaron are driving to meet their friends. Leah has all of her things scattered in the car, and Aaron
Las
is
cajas van
traveling
sueltas.
above the speed limit. Who is not smart?
Esta, porque te va a meter un frenazo y la caja te va a rentar la cabeza.
Leah, it's not safe to keep unprotected things inside the car. In case she stops
¡Pum!
suddenly, something can hit her very
Qué
hard.
inteligente soy,
William and Daniel are driving and are late
Eh,
for work. Who
90,
is
panía.
wrong?
90, más 90. Uf. Esta también.
Daniel, he's driving way above the speed limit in the neighborhood. Jane and
Vale.
Amelia are
No se
riding
puede ver agua potable,
about
hombre.
5 miles. Jane is eating, and Amelia is drinking water from the fountain.
Water que no
Who
es
is not
potable.
smart?
It's not smart. Smart. No smart. It's not smart. It's not smart. Es que era inteligente. Muy tonta, muy tonta.
Amelia, the
20,
warning
30,
sign says
30
that the
puntas.
water isn't drinkable. Max and Ezra were driving around the desert and got stuck in the middle of nowhere. They burned a spare tire to produce some smoke. Max stayed close to the tire, and Ezra walked away in search of something helpful. Who is not smart?
Nada, en la derecha. No puedes estar haciendo esto con una rueda. Ahí el humo negro.
Ezra, you should never leave the vehicle. Chances are the rescuers will
Se van a
notice the
detener.
smoke and find you. But if you go, you might miss them. Both Jonathan and Savannah didn't sleep well and are starting their morning. While Savannah is preparing some coffee, Jonathan is taking out the trash. Who is doing something wrong?
Te diría que este, que está medio dormido.
Jonathan, instead of the trash, he's taking out the old toys they collected to donate. Stella and Aurora didn't study for the test. One of them decided to try her best, and the other is planning to cheat. Can you spot who's cheating?
Hostia.
Stella. She has a lot of bags surrounding her, so she must be trying to hide something. Miles and Cooper were walking in a park when a sudden storm erupted. Lightning struck a tree, and Miles decided to hide under it. Cooper entered a little shack nearby.
A ver, lo normal es meterte debajo de un árbol. Te diría que debajo del árbol. Ah, mierda. Ah, no. Hizo mal.
The belief that lightning never strikes
Es
in
que-
the same place twice is just a
Hombre,
common
cubierto con una
misconception.
casa también.
An indoor shelter is one of the best places to hide. Leo and Melanie are preparing a barbecue party. Leo is cooking and Melanie is decorating the yard. Who is not smart?
Que yo sepa, esta tía que está lanzando globos para el aire.
Leo. While he's cooking, the meat is spoiling in the direct sun.
Oye, muy bien, ¿eh? Me gustó, me gustó, me gustó. Hay más, ¿eh? Así que... me gustó mucho este. Si lo voy a dejar aquí, pero si les gusta y quieren que haga una segunda parte, para adelante. Porque tiene un montón de cosas, ¿verdad? Hombre, estaría guay que estuviera en español. Pero está bastante guay, bastante guay, bastante guay. Así que nada, lo dicho, como siempre digo, si me estás viendo desde YouTube, dale like, suscríbete, activa la campanita. Y si me estás viendo desde Twitch, sígueme que es gratis, nos vemos mañana con más. Adiós.